Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Chris Abbott, but all my friends just call me Abbo. And in this video, we're going to be specifically talking about the subject, what if the church promoted like Starbucks, coming up. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. This video is a little bit different than what we normally do here, which I'm kind of excited about, right? I don't know about you guys. I'm a huge Starbucks fan, right? I'm a huge coffee fan. And so with this video, we just want to specifically kind of answer the question, what would happen if the church promoted like Starbucks? I'm going to share with you a couple of principles that we can learn as church leaders from Starbucks. And then we'll also take a look at a couple of principles that they are using behind the brand that we can actually use inside of our church to attract new visitors on Sunday morning. Now, one of the most important values that Starbucks has is to simply take care of their customers. That might sound pretty intuitive, right? But they have a religious commitment to taking care of their customers, right? So if you actually take a look at their core values and what they do, one of the things that you'll find is that they know the exact demographic that they are reaching, right? Starbucks knows that they cater to middle and upper class men and women who have extra money that they can spend on luxury coffee drinks, right? So they go all in on that demographic and making sure to serve them at a high level. One of my favorite things that Starbucks does, right, is from the very beginning, they went all in on creating what they called the third place. Now, the third place, right, is that basically everybody has home, work, Starbucks, right? They wanted to be third. I think this is absolutely brilliant. More of us as church leaders should strive to do the same thing, right? We want to be third. Obviously, home is going to be first, work is always going to be second, but our church should be third place, right? And that's exactly what Starbucks has done since the very beginning. And they've done a really, really good job, right? You talk to any Starbucks drinker, most of them go multiple times a week. A lot of them go every single day. There's not a lot of casual Starbucks drinkers because people love it and it really does become part of their routine. And it really does legitimately become third place in their lives. So this is something that we should try to do as a church, right? So one of the things that we want to do is we want to ask ourselves, what are some ways that we can become third place, right? Especially if you only have church services once a week or maybe even twice a week if you have, a midweek service, right? How can we make sure that the church is third place in the lives of all of the people that are inside of our congregation? All right, the next thing that Starbucks does that I think is really smart is that they're constantly communicating like the why, right? And their core values. If you know anything about Starbucks, right, they're very liberal, right? They lean very left, but they're unashamed about it. And they're constantly talking about some of the political agendas that they have, right? And while you may or may not disagree with those things, it's part of their core values, right? And I think this is something that they lean into. I think it's something that we should lean into as the church, right? And it doesn't have to be political, but lean into your why, lean into the things that you're passionate about, right? Maybe you're super passionate about overseas missions, right? Maybe you're super passionate about making sure that remote villages have clean drinking water. Well, talk about that, right? Starbucks does. That's what the church needs to do, right? We should have social media posts that talk about this. It should be on our website. We should talk about this from stage. I think it'd be a great idea running Facebook ads or Instagram ads that talk about the why and talk about how passionate we are at our church about providing clean drinking water for children in Haiti, right? If that's the case and you put that out there, you're going to attract the people that think like you. You're going to attract the people who are passionate about the things that you're passionate about, right? That's one of the things that Starbucks does brilliantly, and it's another thing that the church needs to go all in on, right? Because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And so if you can tap into the why, now you're going to attract people who think like you think. All right, so I want to hear from you. Number one, do you like Starbucks? Are you a coffee drinker like me, right? And if so, what do you drink? Post it in the comments below. And then also, what are some things that you think Starbucks or maybe some other brands are doing right that the church really needs to tap into and needs to kind of take those principles and apply to actually growing our churches as well? I want to hear from you. Post it in the comments below. All right, so a great example of another company that does this is Apple. Right? I love that Apple communicates their why, right? If you think about Apple and you think about the type of customers that use Apple, right? Especially when they first started, they went after the creatives, right? And I remember a time where if you were a graphic designer, you weren't considered a real graphic designer unless you had a Mac, right? And that's real talk, and it was not that long ago. These days there's lots of people that have Macs and kind of prefer that, right? There's some people that have Androids, and God bless them. Let's pray for them. But I'm telling you, the fun thing, about Mac is they literally cultivated that, right? Apple cultivated that. And so let's kind of take a look. Like, this is just an example. If Apple were to sound like everybody else, then a typical marketing message from them would sound something like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Not very inspired, right? In fact, it probably sounds like everybody else, like Dell or Microsoft or IBM or every other computer company out there. But that's not actually how Apple communicates, right? How they actually communicate is more like this. In everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way that we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? It's got a totally different feel. Like, it makes you feel something. It hits you like right here. It does something. What is that? Well, they're not just telling you what they do, right? They're not just talking about how they're doing it. They're actually talking about why they do it, right? They didn't actually communicate much about their computers, right? What they actually said is, man, in everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo, right? And then there's a part of the population that goes, me too, right? They say, we believe in thinking differently. And you're like, I think differently too, right? And the way that we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. And you're like, I like all those things, right? And they say, we just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? And the answer is yes, right? Apple is the first $1 trillion tech company, and that's why. They're not talking about what they do or how they do it. They're talking about why they do it. This is something that Apple does a great job with. Starbucks does a great job with. Tesla does a great job with. Disney does a great job with this, right? A lot of those companies that are in our hearts, right? That brand loyalty that everyone's looking for, the reason is because they communicate differently. They communicate the why first. So as church leaders and pastors, we have to learn how to do the same thing at our church. All right, and this last example is from a church website, right? This is called Crossroads Church. I absolutely love this. I've shared it multiple times because I think it's one of the most brilliant uses of copy and kind of starting with why. So let's take a look at this. This is from Crossroads Church. This is the very first thing that you see on their website when you go there. You were born for adventure. You were born to make a difference, designed to partner with God to change the world for good. If that sounds like your type of adventure, Crossroads is your spiritual outfitter. Totally different than the way most churches communicate, right? They didn't actually say anything about them. They're not communicating about the pastor or about the church. The first thing they did was they started with you, right? We believe you were born for adventure. We believe you were born to make a difference, that you were designed to partner with God to change the world for good, right? And it's basically a call out to everyone who agrees with them, right? So the people that also believe that they were born for adventure, that they were born to make a difference, that they were designed to partner with God to change the world for good, those people are attracted to Crossroads from the very moment that they log onto the website, because Crossroads started with the why and they attracted everybody to them. Just kind of go out there, do a Google search, take a look at how Starbucks is promoting themselves, take a look at Tesla, Disney, Harley-Davidson is another great one, Apple, and take a look at what they're communicating and look how they're not communicating their products, they're communicating the why. And then ask yourself, how can we communicate the why behind what we do? Because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. All right, so I've got a free gift for you. Head on over to churchgrowthagency.com and we have a free training over there where we'll show you how to use social media and technology in order to communicate your why and attract new visitors to your church every single Sunday. So head over to churchgrowthagency.com or simply click on the link in the description below. We'll see you soon.